All right, folks. Last but not least, we have Matt Sousa. Give it up for Matt.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. All right, cool. Can we start? Yes, we can. Okay, cool. Awesome. So first question before we start. Does anyone know me from X, LinkedIn? Raise your hand. Okay, cool. A few people. That's cool. Awesome. So today, what I want to share with you is how I personally grew from $0 to 50K per month with my Shopify app. And I will break it down step by step with different steps. Like we'll see it today. Before that, I share online my journey about building Shopify apps. So I've been building apps since 2017. That was my first app. I built 3 apps that failed, as it is written here. And then in 2020, I built White Bundle. It worked. Then a year after, I built Wide Review. It worked as well. When I say that it works, it means that it's actually making money, because the 3 others didn't actually make money. And so we will see today what are the different steps that I had to take in order to go from 0 to 50K. We can see here 4 different steps. Because during the journey, you have to do different things based on where you are. And so the first thing we'll see is how you go from 0 to 1K per month. Because what you do here from 0 to 1K is completely different than what you have to do to go from 25 to 50. So let's go. First, before starting, I will say that this is the most important step. It means that everything starts here. If you fuck these steps, you're fucked. So first one is you have to start small. It is important. When I say that is that you don't try to attract thousands of users directly. Because usually when people start Shopify apps and they ask me questions and they're like, how do you get users? How do you get like hundreds of users to your app? And I'm like, no, you're asking the wrong question. You shouldn't start with a lot of users. Start with 1, 2, 3, and then it starts to scale. This is exactly what you have to do. And so you have to do things that don't scale. When I say that is, for example, taking your customers one by one, trying to understand why they want to use your app. This is something that doesn't scale, but this is something you have to do. And so 50% of the success is getting the right idea. When I say that, it means that I think 50% of the startups fail just because there is no market. And if there is no market, it's because they didn't have the right idea. And to get the right idea, you have to start with one specific problem. You start with a problem, and you try to find a solution. How do you find this problem? You talk to actual merchants. The problem is that many developers, usually it's developers, they don't like to talk to people. I'm sorry, it is what it is. And so they send me messages and they're like, hey, I've got this idea, I want to build it, but I've got no installs. What should I do? And the problem is that they never talk to merchants. They don't even know if their Shopify app is good or not, if it helps merchants or not. And so what you have to do is talking to merchants, as many merchants as possible. Just having chat with them, trying to understand what they do. The goal is not to contact them and be like, hey, you're merchants? Okay, what app do you want? No, the goal is try to understand what they do, why they're doing it, what problems they have, and then at some point you will find problems. So build a network. You have to change it, right? Reach out, find at least 3-5 people. This is exactly what I did with White Bundle. During 3 years, I started to talk with merchants just because in 2017, I started in the markets. I built 3 apps. It didn't work. But during these 3 years, at least, I could build a network. And so that's why in 2020, when I did things differently and I was able to talk to people, that's exactly when I found 3-5 people to try my app. And that's how I found them. That's how I found the problem. So for those who don't know, my app is White Bundle. We create bundles. And when I did it in 2020, it was because many merchants were not satisfied with the bundles app that already existed. And so they asked me, hey, do you think you can do something about it? And 3 people had the exact same problem. They wanted the exact same thing. So I was like, okay, maybe there is a market. Maybe I can make some money with it. And that's how I started. I started to talk to more people. And so that's what I say. Finding these people require hundreds of conversations. Because if you expect that the first message you send, you get like a good conversation and you find problems, that's not how it works. Usually, same thing. When they ask me, hey, I've talked to merchants, I don't know, like they don't reply or they don't tell me about the problems and stuff. And I'm like, how many people did you talk to? I'm like, I sent 5 messages. I'm like, what do you expect? Like, you have to send 100 like you have to have 100 conversations. You have to send messages. You have to do a lot of things to get only 3-5 people. That's how it works. You actually have to talk to people. So take this time so you save time later. Because if you get these few people, you get the right problem and you get the right idea, then everything after will be easier. So we keep going. 3-5 people are early users. They have a problem. You're building an app for them. And since they have the problem, they will use your app no matter what. Because they have the problem. They actually have the problem. And so they will build the product for you. This is really important, and this is awesome, because you don't have to think about the features yourself. The only thing I did, and the only thing people have to do, is talk to potential merchants, find all users, and just ask them what they want. And so all these features that everyone wants, for example, you talk to 5 people, they all want the same feature, you build it. And that's it. Because they are the one actually using your app. You're not one of your users. You don't know what merchants need. And so you focus on them, and you don't try to get thousands of users. Find one channel that works for you, whether it's LinkedIn, the App Store, whether it's Twitter, live events. You can use pretty much everything you want. The only thing is, you need to have merchants on these platforms. All right? If you go somewhere and there is no merchants, then it doesn't make sense. For example, for me, for White Bundle, I used communities. So I were in a few French communities talking with merchants, and so that's exactly how I started. Do it well. It means that the goal is not to try one channel and then you go to another one and then you like it doesn't work. No, just pick one that you like. Obviously, you do it well. You do not delegate, because the goal in the beginning is to do everything yourself. Again, you have to do things that don't scale. This is how you will make money. Don't find shortcuts. The thing is, people want to go too fast. And they're like, doing things like that, having conversations, they think that it's not the way they will get thousands of users. But it is. Because all these simple things, they will start to get more traction. You will start to get more traction. You will start to have the compound effects. It means that more and more people will find your apps. The people you have will talk about your app to others. You will start to get reviews on the Shopify App Store, so more people will find it. And so that's how you will be able to scale. All right, we keep going. This is the most important step again. Get merchants one by one. Don't hesitate. Tell them about your app. Onboard them and spend time with them. You need to understand the problem. You need to understand the problem so well that you will speak like them. You will say everything they say. You will know everything. You will know the words, even the words that they use, because you know them perfectly. And so you have to ask yourself, where do your potential users hang out? If you are targeting, I don't know, people selling tables, you have to go where people are selling tables, whether it's a conference about tables. I've got no idea. I don't even know if it exists, but this is how you should do it. And so then find this one thing they love about your product. There is always this one thing. This is usually why they want to use your app. And you double down on it. It becomes a USP, so a unique selling proposition. This is what they want from your app. And this is what you have to do. You have to improve it. For White Bundle, there was this one thing that they wanted. It was the design. And so I just doubled down on it, and I ensured that I was the best at this thing, because that was the reason why these people wanted to use my app. For that, have as many conversations as possible. And there is a strategy that I used that you should use, especially in the beginning. It's the live chat strategy, which is don't wait for users to reach out and ask you questions. For example, let's say you have your app, someone installs your app. Usually the people are like, okay, I'm waiting for them to contact the support. That's not how it works, because they won't. What you have to do is contact them. You send, for example, notification to Slack whenever someone installs your app, and you engage the conversation. You can use things like Crisp, for example, which is a customer support tool, and you can send a message yourself. You try to engage the conversation. You don't wait for them to do it. You have to do it yourself. Again, things that don't scale. Get reviews. You know it. We know everyone knows that the reviews are really important on the Shopify App Store. So this is something that you have to get as many reviews as possible. Whenever you have a conversation on support or with a merchant or whatever, and they're like happy, whatever it is, like happy, like, oh, okay, thank you, you answered really fast the questions or whatever. You have to ask for a review. You don't have to wait for them to use your app for a year. I've heard that before. It's like, hey, you don't have a lot of reviews. Okay, are you asking for reviews? No, because they're not using my app. They just install or whatever. And I'm like, no, you should ask for reviews as soon as they're happy, because that's how you will grow. Get traffic on the Shopify App Store, long tail keywords. The way it works is simple. It's that if you go after big keywords, let's say, well, take my app, White Bundle. If you go after the keyword bundle in the beginning, the problem is that they are already big apps. You won't be able to compete with them. But if you go after smaller keywords, let's say, for example, offers instead of bundles, then you will get maybe the first 5 positions or something, I don't know, but at least people will see you. All right, less traffic for this keyword, but at least you get some of it. Do it consistently, because this is how it works. Again, things that don't scale, you get the compound effects. It means that it will work more and more. Cool, we are at 1K. You just have to do it to go to 1K. It's just doing things that don't scale, finding a good problem, just fixing it, talking to people, and that's it. So that you did the most complicated thing. Congratulations. Now what you have to do is track your data. I say Mantle here because this is their event, and I mean, and it's a great product, right? I did it with Mixpanel personally, because when I started, Mantle didn't exist. But you can use Mantle, it's pretty good. I'm still using Mixpanel though. No, it's easier when you already use a solution to keep using it. But Mantle is actually a very good solution. So the goal is find where the holes are. Basically, you get the bucket, right? You've got all the holes, and you're trying to put water in it, right? You will lose all the water because there are too many holes. So the goal is, where are the holes? Basically, it's the metrics. So you look, for example, at the activation rate. So how many people actually installing your app will start using it? And if you only have like 20% of the people who install and they don't use your app, then this is a problem. And you have to understand why. You fix the activation rate. You now have more water. And you start to do it with many metrics, whether it's your conversion rates, so users going from free trial to being actually a paying user. And you've got all these metrics, you have to improve them. Then you can expand with app partnerships and integrations. So the goal here is to be seen as one of the best apps for what you do. And you need authority. And to do it, you reach out to other Shopify apps, and you're like, hey, I've got this amazing Shopify app. We have that many users. Would you want to do a partnership? You can do a technical integration as well. And so the goal is, if you get a lot of partnerships, then the merchants will see your app on all these other dashboards. And so they will, the moment they will need something that your app does, they will find you on the Shopify App Store, and they will be like, oh, I know this app. I've seen it. And so that's why you have to do it, to get authority and to get users. Improve your listing. This is obvious. You can start to go after better keywords, like bigger ones, and you try stuff. What's good about the Shopify App Store is that compared to Google, when you change something, you see the results immediately. Like on Google, when you change something, you don't even know about the change after 2 weeks. Like you don't know the impact of it. For the Shopify App Store, if you change a keyword, you will see the change like in 2 minutes. So you can make a lot of tests and see what improves your ranking. This is something you should do. From 1K to 10K again. Consolidate what already works. Usually at this stage, you know what you do, you know what works, you know what doesn't. Just do more of what works. It's simple as that. Don't try to do new things, because you don't need to do new things. You're still working on something that works. You can just double down on it, do more of it. For example, if customer support works well for you to get reviews and you start to get a better ranking, then keep going, keep doing it. From 10K to 25K. Honestly, if you do everything I said before, you can grow to 10K without any problem. 10K to 25K. This is usually when you start hiring. first time is usually you will start hiring for customer support because it's the biggest problem, right? If you just doing support the whole day, you won't have time to build your app, to create features, to whatever. And so this is usually the first thing that you will delegate. For that, you need to create processes to grow your business. You're now making a business. You're not one person founder, like one person of a business. You just need to create processes so that you can delegate to other people. For example, you know your customer support, you know how it works, you know the questions people are asking. And so what you can do is just get all these questions, create processes, and so you can hire people that will just do it for you. And you can tell them exactly what works. Add more acquisition channels. So now you master the older channels, right? You know how it works. You can go after different things. 25K to 50K. At this point, you're good. You have a business that is working. And what you have to do is just improve your app with feedback. Talk to as many of your users as possible. Ideally, you should talk to your power users. It means the users that have been using your app for a long time. These are the best users. Focus on your power users only. This is what I said. And double down on what works. What it means is like, let's say, for example, that partnerships worked well with me, and something else like I started ads and it doesn't work. What you have to do is just double down on what works. You don't need to do new things, especially when you want to go to 50K. If you are like 10 millions a year maybe or something, then you have to think about the other things, right? But here, you just have to double down on what works. You don't need to like reinvent the wheel. You found something that works. Why do you want to go somewhere else? Just double down on it. You need to be focused. And then you have to fix your weaknesses. For example, let's say that your churn is the problem. You've got a high churn, people are not staying. This is the problem. You find it, you fix it. So it's simple. You do more of what works, and you try to fix what doesn't work. And like that, you will grow to 50K. Thank you. I know I was fast, so I had 20 minutes, 25, I don't know. So like I try to be fast. If you have any questions, specific things, yes. Do you have any plans to move to Mantle? I need to test it first. So like I know them. I tested it before, but the only problem is that you've got an app. You set up everything with Mixpanel, for example, and it's like if you want to change for something, you have to learn the new tool. You have to change everything. And to be honest, I'm satisfied with Mixpanel. So it's like, why would I change it? It's still a great product. If you're not using it, you should use it. I mean, if I had to start today again, I would probably use Mantle. I wouldn't, like, if I had to learn how to use Mixpanel or learn how to use Mantle, I would use Mantle. Yes? So like you want numbers that are actually good, or? Yeah, I think it depends a lot on the app, on who you're targeting and stuff. For me, for example, let's say that I have someone who arrived on the Shopify app listing, right? You've got Google Analytics on that, and then you've got the number of people that will actually install your app. From that, a good one would be 30%. For an app, if your app is free, it will be probably higher. This is what I mean. If you've got like 20%, then I think you've got room for improvements. And if you got less than that, I think you can definitely improve. Usually, the thing to improve your app listing is to ask yourself, like in 5 seconds, they should understand why they should install your app, what is your app, and I forgot the last one. But basically, that's the thing. Like, they have to understand what you're doing in 5 seconds. Again, your app exists, like many apps exist, similar ones. They don't have time to try to understand what your app does, and so you've got to like try to make them understand that what your app does in like 5 seconds, even 3. And so 30%, 20%, you should have way for improvements. Then you've got the activation rate. I think you can aim for 80% minimum so that they can use your app, at least 80%. Then again, for conversion rate, for example, if you've got a free trial, we have 45%. But again, it depends on who you're targeting and stuff like that. So we have 45%. I think it's pretty good. That's it. Then for the churn, you have to go lower. And again, it depends on who you're targeting. For example, we are targeting SMBs, so our churn is really, really high, which is something we're trying to work on. And it depends, but you have to lower it. I hope it helps. Yes? Uh, Usually all the big ones, because they've got resources, they've got they've been here for a long time, so like they know about what the people want, whether it's for the UX of the apps and stuff like that. So usually I will look at apps like Judge Me or big apps like that to get inspiration. This is usually what I do, and I will try to look at competitors, like what are they doing, what do I like about their apps and stuff like that. Yes. Uh, I would I would start with non-scalable channels first, and then I would probably do like YouTube videos and stuff like that. I feel like it will be something even better in the future, especially with AI and everything that's coming. I would probably double down on YouTube. Yeah, organic, yes. Yep. Honestly, there is no good like 50K. We did it in a bit less than 2 years. I've seen people doing it like in 6 months and then they were stuck. I've seen people not doing it like for 2 years and then suddenly they've got lot of installs and stuff. Honestly, I can't say. There is no good numbers. It depends on a lot of things. It's possible to say. Yes. All the app new, like the apps, are they new or not? Okay, I feel like it's already a weird strategy. Because like I don't know what's the goal, but like usually the people installing small apps are not the one installing big apps. But I would personally double down on the big ones. If you're already doing it and it works, because churn is lower, you'll get more money. Um, I would go on that personally. I mean, if you're already doing it, it's not that hard. If you're already doing the process, you said that you've been here for a year. Usually, you know how to do it, and you can just double down on it. And then you've got like word of mouth and stuff like that, and it becomes easier. Behind, yes. Yeah, sure. So first one is I will look at competitors. That's the first point. Second thing is that I will usually reach out to the early users and ask them three questions. First one is, at what price do you think that um, there is something weird? It means that under that price, you would think that the app has a problem. For example, let's say that I have a bundle app and I ask this question and they're like, if your app is less than $5, then I would think there is a problem because it's too low. Then I ask the opposite, like at what price would it be too high for the value it gives? And then I will ask them like, what would be the best price for you? And usually it's something between the average price and the high price. And then I look at what competitors are doing. If you don't have any competitors, which is weird, you can look at like other similar categories and stuff like that. Yes. Yeah, so if you're looking for, I am looking for SMBs. I used to do it. So agencies is not that good because usually they're working with bigger merchants. So that wasn't part of the strategy. Now we are changing it, and I have pretty good relationships, especially with French agencies. This is something you should do if you're going like high tickets and you want to, yeah, this is something you can do definitely. So you've got to have relationship with them. It's not the same thing as just launching on the Shopify app store. It's based on what you want, who you're targeting, and who you want to help. And so this is something that works if you go high tickets. Yes. Yes. Yes, I had this problem. So there is a metric we are actually tracking is how many, like the percentage of people installing and uninstalling the same day. And so something that worked in the beginning was the onboarding process. We didn't have any onboarding process, so they would just figure out how to use your app. And so adding an onboarding process changed everything. And we tried to change something until we had usually lower uninstall the same day and like higher activation rate. This one of the things. Yes. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Second part of the question. So first one is you've got qualitative data and quantitative data. So for quantitative data, what I'm doing is using Mixpanel. You've got Mantle as well, and then I'm trying to have like customers on call or like live chats, and this is with that usually what I do. I've got in I don't know if you know Oja, the app. So I've got that. It used to not work very well for embedded apps, but now it does. So you can see, for example, if people are clicking somewhere that doesn't work, what they're doing and stuff like that. For example, there is a cool metric on Ocha, which is I don't know how they call it, but it's like angry users or something like that. It's when they click a lot on something, like it's not working or they expect something to be clicked or whatever. It's like rage. Yep. Question. Yeah, so it's Crisp. And what's good about Crisp is that you've got live chat, help desk, pretty much everything to handle customer support. And so we have the live chat. And what is good about Crisp is that whenever someone opens the dashboard, there is like on Crisp a page of live users. And you can click on them, each of them, and you can engage the conversation. And they will receive, like on the live chat, it will open and they will receive the message. And so usually we try different messages so that we can understand what is the best one to get like a reply, so that they don't think we're a bot or something. And then we try to engage like that. And we used to do it a lot in the beginning because you've got users, you don't know why, you need to understand and you need to figure out what your app does, why they installed and stuff like that, and to get reviews as well. Yeah, I don't know how long we have actually, but okay, well, let's go whole night. Yes? The pricing, always since the beginning, you have to change based on how your app is working. We didn't have this in pricing when I started, and we changed it. I don't know 3 times, and we'll change it soon, as you know it. So like always, you have to change it, and as your app is changing, you have to change it as well. Yep, behind. So recently, what we started doing is offer them like a $10 Amazon gift card, which is well, it works. I don't have the number. I don't have the actual conversion rate, but it's a matter of numbers. Like some will say no, and sometimes what I will do, especially in the beginning when I didn't have a lot of users, is I would spam them. When I say spam, it's like you send a message, they don't answer. It's like 10 minutes after. It's like, hey, I'm here to help you. And then they've seen your message, for example, and you're like, hey, I can really help you. I've seen you check this. That, you try to follow up on that, but not in a spam way, like, hey, please answer, like, are you here? Are you here? No, it's more about like sending messages, and you're actually here to help them. All right, I think we're good. We had a lot of questions. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Follow me on Twitter, follow me on LinkedIn, follow me everywhere.
Natty D'Souza. Thanks, everyone. That's all, folks.